Good morning, everybody. I've got a tale from Alabama that has come up so many times across the country, especially in social equity situations. From Law 360, headline is Alabama Pot Company sues regulators over rescinded license. Okay. Now, I've typically dealt with this in city situations in California. They want to do social equity. You put out your parameters of social equity, how many licenses you're going to give. You start the application process, and we've even brought in outside companies to do the numbers. Who's meritorious over who else. Okay. Well, in Alabama, they decided they're going to give out 4 processors license at the state level. So apparently, they promulgated regulations about how this is going to work. It looks like they hired a company to rate the applications, and then it turns out that they threw all the rating numbers out for reasons that they don't say in here, but I can read between the lines. And the company that's suing, they're called Enchanted Green LLC. They're suing the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, another one of these acronyms for whoever at the state level runs the cannabis in the state. And this company filed their 1,000 page application. They actually got one of the 4 licenses in the first round. The state went, oh no, we've got a problem here with a company that's grading them. So they rescinded the licenses, came back again, and they got a license the second time. They actually paid their $40,000 fee. So in terms of rights, this smells like they have a vested right to that license. Okay, once you've been given it and you pay the fee, what's left to do to get your license? Okay, this is where these pissing matches come out. If you're trying to apply for a permit that's discretionary, you don't have a whole lot of rights until the permit gets granted. We've had that battle here in California. In every place they do social equity, where someone doesn't get a license or permit, they go to court and sue. Well, in this case, the state gave them a license, took their $40,000, and then went, hold on for a second. We're going to now do an emergency regulation. And we're going to now require an in-person meeting with the commission. Okay, so these companies all went in, and it turns out that this company, Enchanted Green, tied for fourth. Okay, and so what they did is, okay, you tied for fourth. Somebody pulls out a fish bowl with some pieces of paper in it. A commissioner pulls one out, and the other company got the license. And it didn't seem like anybody in the commission knew what the hell they were doing. But after this, the other company got the license, and they still haven't given them back their $40,000. Okay, so they sued them. Now, this is a complaint, and I want to just remind people, a complaint is, let's throw every bad thing I think they did into a piece of paper and accuse them of it. We haven't heard back from Alabama. They also sued every commission member, so they got a whole bunch of people at the party. They will fight this, but I think the problem they have here is that the license was given to them, they paid the fee, and then they went, hold on for a second, we're going to pull the license back. In the cases I've been involved here in California, there are discretionary permits. They haven't been given the permit yet. They just didn't win one of them, so they run to court and fight about it. This is going to be interesting, and anybody across the country who's getting involved in the cannabis industry early on, where they're offering social equity, things like that, learn from this, because these are shit shows from the gate. People are paid to stand there and be a straw man that qualifies for social equity. They fight over everything. Money gets passed under the table back and forth to these goddamn politicians. We end up with a mess. And again, you walk around the corner and you buy your weed from the trap, because the trap always wins. Oh, back at you guys. What do you think about this?
Man, oh man,
it's like the trap.
Man, it's like here. You want this? You know that commercial for the insurance, and it's the old man with the fishing pole and the dollar, and he's like trying to here you go, like that. That's basically what they're doing right there with the license right there. They're doing that exact move.
I just think
that's a beautiful analogy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that they awarded this license and they took that shit back.
Yeah. I mean,
That's like dirty.
but what about
I mean,
the?
think about it though.
They didn't even delay it.
that
They didn't
is-
even delay it and try to be like, well, we gotta wait. We have to reconfigure some stuff behind the scenes. They actually gave it out and they rescinded. They took that shit right back.
Mm-hmm. Dude, this is
Well,
insane. I mean,
Alabama has laws similar to what we have in California that if you're going to have a meeting to change laws, you have to have an open meeting. Okay? And so they're in federal court. They took this shit to federal court and said you violated the federal constitution, our due process rights. We had a vested property right in this license. We paid your ass for it, and you took it back without due process. They didn't give them a chance to go, comment on the regulations, be it a hearing where they're gonna, let's get a fishbowl and throw some fucking pieces of, paper in there, and that's how we're gonna fix a tie. It's crazy to me. But the federal constitution is applicable to states. If you have a property right, this is going back to the Magna Carta. The king can't take your property right away from you without due process. So this one is going to get interesting, but the cautionary tales for everybody trying to get into social equity, watch these son of a bitches because they play sleight of hand with you. Next thing you know, you're standing there holding your dick and you don't have a license. Or for females, they're Punani.
Hell, none of these
Yep.
people
It's
play
just crazy.
card Monty. I mean, let's go.
Hey, here-
Your license is under one of those cones.
here's basically what Alabama is doing right here. Here you go.
Oh,
That-
you almost had it.
Oh,
Quicker than that.
you got to be quicker. That's basically what Alabama is doing with that license right there. But what about this fishbowl, bro? What about this fishbowl? Do we know whose names were actually written on those little pieces of paper in there? Because this definitely
part of
sounds
the
like
problem.
it sounds like a swingers party to me with the fishbowl.
Well,
You still got experience, Jason.
I
that's
I've
one of
never
their
been to a
complaints. It's like, who
party
came
with
up with this idea?
yeah.
How do we know everybody's names on a piece of paper?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was nuts. And it was like, it was a little shell game being played here. And it just makes you wonder, did someone slip somebody some money to have what was before number 5 that didn't get a license to now become number 4 and push this other one out? Because that's the dynamics here. The number 5 person won the slot.
I'm willing to bet.
You just have to wonder.
I'm willing to bet that the person that won was probably the only name written on every single piece of paper. Dale.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen.
Yeah.
The person that won
Yeah.
paid the person who picked.
Oh, that's why they call it pay to play, Luke. That's why they call it that.
Yep, I bet all the answers to the questions that we're asking can be found in Sarah Huckabee Sanders' podium.
Why would it be Sarah Huckabee Sanders? She's the governor of Arkansas, not Alabama.
I thought she was Alabama.
No. No.
Same
no,
shit.
No, wrong.
It's
wrong.
close.
Yeah. Epic fail, Rico. Epic fail.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You should smoke some weed. She might be a nicer person.
Yeah.
You know who is from Alabama though? Do you remember?
Bear Bryant.
Do you remember Pete?
A whole bunch of people from Alabama.
Do you remember Pete Sessions was from Alabama?
I remember Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, Jeff
I do
Sessions.
remember.
Sorry, Jeff Sessions. Yes, thank you, Luke. My
He's
bad.
his cousin.
Yes.
Gotcha.
No,
Yeah.
Yep. Jeff
was
Sessions.
Attorney General.
Yep. He was former attorney
Yeah,
general.
yeah,
Used to be
yeah,
a senator.
Keebler Elf.
Alabama wingnut.
Yep.
Yeah, the KKK sympathizer.
Oh
He
boy.
was dropped on his head a lot as a child. That
He
was his
said-
problem.
Yeah.
Quoted,
They
he was
also almost
quoted as
elected
saying
that
he
child.
would rather have the
child
KKK
molester guy.
around than cannabis.
Yeah.
That's what
Was
that
that
was a
Luke?
direct quote from old Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
I totally remember that.
Sessions had a direct quote that says he thought cannabis was a bigger problem than the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
That was like a few years ago. That wasn't like in the 60s or something. That was like
Yeah.
2020.
That was like when he was
Yeah,
when he
and,
was
uh,
AG. You're saying.
And I think we should all go back to Donald J. Trump saying that he hires only the best people and keeps the best
Well,
people
in,
around
in,
him.
In Trump's defense, he got rid of Sessions pretty fast, but I think he realized he had a wingnut under him too. But yeah, I mean,
He got rid of Jeff Sessions because Jeff Sessions recused himself from
Yeah,
as
that was why.
as he should have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he wasn't down with the rest of them to lie and to obstruct any kind of justice on that level because he knew that it would end up on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason.
Fish,
Yeah, make attorneys get attorneys.
fish
What
bowl,
MAGA stands for.
fish bowls
Yeah,
in
oh, I
Arizona.
like that. I
Oh
like
boy,
that.
we're gonna go to a commercial.
I
We're
like
gonna be right back.